powered by these enhanced sports boosters. Atkins Insurance, Casper Enterprises LLC, Billiard Hammer Hartman Insurance, Fort Scott Community College, the Hole in the Wall Liquor Store, Canara Cara Fort Scott, La Hacienda, Myrick Mechanical, Marcia's Deli, Norris Heating and Air Conditioning, Opie's Pizza, and State Farm Insurance. This program is also made possible by all KOMB KMDO sports boosters. It's time to hoop it up at the Hometown Pub Coach's Corner on All Hit 103.9 and our YouTube channel, Fort Scott TV. Here's the voice of the Tigers, Dylan Duffy.
Good evening and welcome in, Tiger fans, to the Coach's Corner here on 103.9 KOMB FM and streaming live on Fort Scott TV on YouTube. Like they said, I am Dylan Duffy, and we're also live on location at Hometown Pub, located at 206 North National Avenue in downtown Fort Scott, Kansas. We've got a full hour of Tiger basketball coming your way tonight with Lady Tigers head coach Pashawn Steps joining us for the first half, and men's head coach Brennan Feeback closing things out. Without further ado, long time no see, Coach Steps. I hope the holiday break was good for you as it was for me.
It was good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy
good.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Happy
Merry
Hanukkah.
Christmas,
all that fun stuff.
All that stuff. Yeah.
So I kind of remember, being a coach, you say holiday break, but really you're still practicing and getting after it a little bit. So with that, how the team look over break and everything like that?
Well, after our last game against Chanute at home, we were pretty much on break, and then you have your mandatory Keisha breaks in Kansas.
I know you love those.
Oh man, which I feel like Keisha, they do the best job they can, but it feels like we're behind in Kansas because everybody else is either playing in a holiday tournament of the surrounding states, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma or whatnot. But we're on break. But we had to play by the rules that we're governed by. So we had our week off, and then we got back on it that Monday, the 29th. And so we've had a full week of practice, and it was a slow process of trying to get back into the flow. Now, the one thing that helped us this year, which I thought the girls probably did a better job of, as a coach, your last game is you always tell the girls, all right, do something over break. Don't just sit around on the couch and not do anything. But it's usually cold, and this year we had some 70-plus days of a break, so girls were at least able to get out and be a little active, and so I don't think it was as bad that first day of practice coming back because, you've been around. I usually put 4 trash cans in each corner of the gym and say you don't have to ask permission if you have to go to the bathroom, but just don't let it happen on my floor.
And we usually have a couple of them that do happen to go find that trash can for sure.
Exactly. So this year wasn't too bad, and they came back in reasonably decent shape. And each day we just try to get a little bit better. And now I think after today's practice, the girls are just ready. They're tired of seeing each other. I think they're just ready to play a game.
Yeah, there's usually you kind of get that the beginning of the season. You practice for so long before your first game. / now that we have the jamboree. And the girls are like, all right, can we play some fresh blood in a sense like that? And kind of the same after that 1 week, like, okay, we've already been in this. Let's get back into it and all that.
Exactly.
And not saying that the senior leadership and stuff in the past years wasn't as good, but it probably does help that you have 5 senior leaders this year to kind of make sure they hold the underclassmen accountable with it all too.
Yeah, I think that's great. This is the most seniors we've had since, when I had Maddie Cook and Carson Dwyer and Skylar Brown and Jenny Denton, and that group, Kelsey Nelson. So to have 5 seniors that's kind of been through it and got a lot of game experience, you lean on them a lot there, and they've been great leaders thus far, and they've been able to bring the younger ones along and kind of show them the ropes. And so they set the tone, each and every day in practice, and the other girls do a good job of following. I think that's been our formula for this year.
For sure, and with that, we've had a pretty good year so far. Big picture, we're 5-0. We're undefeated in the conference so far, and kind of what stood out besides the senior leadership early for this squad so far?
The thing I've been most proud of, I knew what I was going to get, somewhat out of my seniors there. Now, granted, we only had Claire and Abby that had, major varsity experience. Everybody else was kind of subbed in or de facto starters. They might not start, but they were the first person off the bench there. But they have a lot of games under their belt. They've carried us early on, and it has allowed us to get some of our younger girls some minutes. And Mary Malone and Kipton Hunziker and Lorelai Clark and Lillian Jackson and Laney and some of those girls, allow them to come along at a slower pace without having to just throw them into the fire. Kinley Lee, and allow them to just come along and kind of get used to the varsity play. Because no matter what you say, and no matter how much basketball you've played, there's a difference between playing at 4:30 in a JV game and then playing after a 20-minute warm up and coming into a varsity game when there are lights. You wouldn't think, because some of those girls, you see the same girls in both games, but there's just that added pressure, I guess, that girls put themselves under, or that added stress, or now the student section's in the crowd, and so girls kind of, sometimes psych themselves out. So having those seniors has allowed some of those younger girls to gain some experience and come along slowly, and they've really played well over these 5 games.
Yeah, they really have, and you've kind of had some consistency night to night. I mean, Abby G, that last week before break, hopefully she can stay hot coming out of break, but she just exploded for almost. Actually, she might have went over 50 points on the week, but she just had a really good week, and some different players have stepped up. What do you hope to see kind of going forward? That consistency, or do you want to see some of the underclassmen kind of start developing even more when they come in? Or
I think it goes twofold. I still think we want to have some balanced scoring, which that's probably the most proud thing that has carried us this first semester is we've had balanced scoring across the board. So you just can't key on one person. Yes, Abby G's been hot. We like that, but the first couple games in Paola, she just kind of distributed and got other girls involved and whatnot. And so even though she's been on a tear of 29 and 22, I think she's averaging like 15 points a game. Lorelai Clark has shot the ball well for us, and she's like at 10 points a game. J.C. Rogers does the dirty work, sets screens and gives us some physicality. She's like at 9 points a game. Then Aubrey Yard comes in, and she's can step out and shoot the three and worked on her mid-range game. And she gives us some physicality down low with rebounding. And I think she's like at 5 rebounds, and she's like at 6 or 7 points a game. And then Raylee Cowan has been a spark for us. And, she's always out in the passing lanes and getting layups and just fast. I just like – You're just fast for no reason. You're just super fast, so her getting out and averaging, I think she's like at 7 points a game. And then Claire's been, steady for us. Even though sometimes Claire gets frustrated with her offense a little bit, she impacts the games on so many other levels with assists and rebounds and steals, and just been a leader for us. So I think we have a great mix of girls, and then this allowed, like I said earlier, our younger girls to kind of come along, Kipton and Kinley Lee and Laney and Lillian, and Mary Malone has been a pleasant surprise for us, who really didn't get any varsity experience last year. She played mostly JV, and she's come in and rebounded well for us, gave us some athleticism, and she just has a nose to score. Sometimes I don't know how the shot gets to where it needs to go, but by the end result, man, it goes in the basket there. So then been definitely pleased with her progress as well.
Yeah, that she's got that athleticism to her. Like, you don't know how it does, but it works, and you're not going to ask questions about it. Yeah.
Yes.
And with that, I think what I really enjoy watching, and when I'm calling these games, is kind of the roles. Like, you don't really see a girl get too down on herself or anything. They all have their roles. Like, if Abby G's going hot, they kind of understand, hey, we're going to try to feed her the ball a little bit more. But if Ray's getting steals and making layups, it's like, we're gonna work on pressing and getting up in their faces a little bit more. And like we said, Abby Gorman's 50% from 3 already with 5 games into the season. Lorelai's 38%. And the biggest one, J.C. Rogers, I think we didn't have her as a 3-point threat going into the season, but she's 100% from 3. Now she's only shot 1. But, hey, sometimes you just say, hey, J.C., if you want to keep that percentage, you can have the all-time leading percentage from 3-point line. Cut it for the rest of the year, something like that. But, no, that's things that when I would take the post down there, they probably thought it was in fun, but – you shoot that 3. Just you never know when you're going to be out there. And if you can have a stretch 5 that can step out there in a girls' game, men's game, it's a big thing to have on the court.
Yeah, I think it's huge. The game is, just in the last 6-7 years, the game has just changed, with Steph Curry, Caitlin Clark, those type of deals where you do have to stretch the floor a little bit, and it allows cutting lanes and whatnot. You have to be a threat from the perimeter to A, take the pressure off the post so they don't collapse down, B, to have some cutting lanes and some dribble possibilities. So you just have to be an all-around player. Gone are the days of numbering somebody 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You just want to be a player. I think you're just all good, solid players, whether you're a guard or a forward. You just want to be a good all-around player, and that's what we try to stress even the younger girls at our basketball camps and things. If you can don't get labeled as being a post player at a young age. Get out in the yard, work on your dribbling skills, work on your passing skills, work on your shooting skills. Just be a good, solid, all-around player, and then we'll go from there. There's always a place for you on the court.
Yeah, and you kind of notice that. I mean, it sometimes happens more in men's, but Anthony Davis was a point guard when he was a senior in high school, and then he went to Kentucky. And hey, sorry, you're 6'11" now. You're gonna have to do some work down low.
Right.
But I was giggling a little bit because you said 6 to 7 years, and I can only think if my daughter's at home, she's going crazy right now with that.
Yeah.
So with that, we have some balanced scoring besides even from the three-point line. We got Mary, like you said, she's shooting 61% from the field in her first really varsity minutes, and JC's contributing 58%. Aubrey Yark's 48%, and even freshman Kipton, she's at a 40% clip. Aubrey's at 48%. But what would you say that efficiently wise is? I mean, is it just good open shots? Is it good ball movement that you've seen so far? Or is it a mix of both?
I think the one thing that we've improved on this year, last year I didn't think we shot it very well from the perimeter. It had good looks. The ball sometimes it just doesn't go in. I think this year we're more of a threat from the perimeter, which has opened up some other things. And then we've also been able to create some offense off our defense and get in transition and get some easy buckets. And it's, when you're struggling from the perimeter, it's easy to, Coach always say, get to the rim, try to get a foul, try to get to the free throw line, see a ball go in, and then, extend your range there. So one of the things I've been most pleased with, too, is the way we've shot the ball from the perimeter, and I hope we can continue to do that because it just opens up so many other things if you can knock down a few open jump shots.
Yeah, and maybe it came a little bit quicker than we thought this year already. I mean, 5 games in, we'll see how kind of the turn of the year goes, but we're getting production from the veterans and from, some underclassmen that we probably didn't think, okay, hopefully we get them in. Usually it's been we'll try to balance them in towards the end of the season, later on in conference when we kind of have it figured out. But how valuable has that depth been already that we've kind of had some bigger games that we can get them in and get some minutes early?
I think depth is always key because at some point you're going to run into a couple nights where refs are not on your side. It's just one of those tough nights where you're in foul trouble, and so you're going to have to put some girls in some spots they're not used to. So depth is always key. And then, we haven't hit the winter months where, sickness goes around. Last year we had a little stretch where Abby G was out and somebody else was out, and they're just passing the flu bug, around. So it's important to have that depth just to absorb some of those things, so those unforeseen circumstances that might happen throughout a season.
For sure, and I think that's going to take us to our first break. So we'll come back right after this. You're listening live tonight from Hometown Pub. We'll step aside for a quick break. We'll be right back with more Coach's Corner. I'm Dylan Duffy with ladies head coach Bashawn Steps on 103.9 KOMB FM and Fort Scott TV on YouTube.
Hometown Pub is proud of all of our Tiger sports academic teams. We want to wish everybody a great winter season. Go Tigers. Stop by Hometown Pub at 206 North National Avenue. We're open 7 days a week. Kitchen hours from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and noon to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Stop by and see us. Always happy to have you.
Tax season is here, and there's no better time to drive away in the car you deserve. At Bourbon County Cars, they make it easy with their finance options. Got a tax refund? Turn it into your down payment today. Bad credit? No problem. They'll work with you to get you behind the wheel. Affordable cars, easy financing, no hassle. Don't wait. Your dream ride is closer than you think. Stop by Bourbon County Cars on Highway 69 in Fort Scott or online at bourboncountykars.com or find them fast in names and numbers.
Fort Scott Livestock is proud to be a KMDO KOMB sport booster and help bring our listeners exciting Tiger and Greyhound sports. Check their website out at www.fslivestock.com or call the office at 620-223-4600.
Your hole-in-the-wall liquor store at 124 East Wall Street in beautiful downtown Fort Scott is excited to be another sports booster. They believe in our kids, their parents, and this community. Let's fill up the bleachers and cheer our kids on with any sport. Hole-in-the-Wall Liquor Store, 124 East Wall.
Welcome back here to Hometown Pub. I'm Dylan Duffy, again back with head coach of the Lady Tigers, Bashawn Steps. We kind of want to dive into something. We've talked a lot about how we were 5-0, how we've looked really good on the season so far, but, I know you pretty well. I think a lot of people around here know you, that you're always still going to be looking for things to improve on. So that's going to be my first question coming out of break is, even at 5-0, what are some things that you're really pushing this last week and going into the rest of the season that you want to improve on?
A couple things we definitely need to improve on is our free throw percentage as a team. We got to get they're free for a reason, and we got to get better at knocking down some free throws. We're getting to the line, which I like. that means we're being aggressive, but we got to make it count when we get to the free throw line. And then we don't have the same height we had in the past years with Murph and Kylie, and we've had that luxury, kind of have the twin towers, so we don't have to worry about it rebounding as much. But with us being a little undersized and not having that height, we're going to do a better job of just making sure we're boxing out on the boards from the free throw line and just in general. And those are probably the two biggest emphasis for sure that we need to improve on.
Kind of seems like no matter what, that's always been the two things is, unless you're 100% from the free throw line, there's going to be a room for improvement. I mean, you even kind of at least 80%, I think, is kind of our key. And, I mean, like you said, they're free. I think that's what we always say. They're free for a reason. Like some people you look at them and you're like, you could have had 20 tonight. You just missed 8 free throws. Like you had everything, the fixings to go off for a career night.
Right.
Unfortunately, you don't have it in boxing out. That's. I know you've had me kind of get the pad out some years and bump into them a little bit. And,
right.
And I think with that, JC and Aubrey, they do a really good job. But there's those times that you're just going to get lax at the free throw line, even in the free throw. Like, all right, I don't really have to hustle. They're not going to do anything. We got the numbers, and then somebody sneaks in, and those are the coaching moments that I think secretly you enjoy as a coach, because you're like, all right, if everything's going good, we're up 20 or whatever, I still have something that I can
harp on
a little bit, and that's what you live for.
Yeah.
You watch Signetti in the playoffs, like he always just seems like he's in a bad mood, but it's like, he's found something in this game that he's gonna talk to him about.
Right.
And with that, we've had a good break of watching college football, but we haven't had a good break of really watching Tiger basketball because we haven't been able to play. So you haven't played since December 19th. So besides, I know you do some things where you've kind of done a Christmas gift for some families. You do that kind of team bonding. You can do that on the outside. What else has helped you keep the edge through the long break?
Well, I think just over the break, once we got done playing a very tough Chanute team, right before break, was definitely fortunate to get a win at home against them, because they're going to be tough down the stretch. They're going to beat some teams in the SEK. And as my saying is, there's no nights off in the SEK. You got to take each game for what it's worth. You can't look at records. You just got to go in and take one game at a time. And then we're going to get into some of our non-conference stuff here the second half of the year, and then always midseason tournament. But over break, Coach G and I got a chance to watch some film and kind of go back and see what we really needed to work on, what we needed to improve on. And then we watched some film from years past and see what works, what doesn't work. We kind of had a chance to do a little self-evaluation and see if we need to throw something out or scrap it or adjust it or tweak it just to fit this team, because each year there's a new identity to each team. Now, the one thing I like about our girls this year is, we definitely have a mindset. We're not as tall, but they have a little fire to them. They have a little scrappiness to them, and I think that bodes well for us, and I think that's going to be key for us in the future, in our future games, because we're going to take everybody's best shot, and that's what our girls kind of understand. It's kind of that Fort Scott versus everybody, mentality, and I think that's what we have to take into games, game in and game out.
Yeah, and it almost seems like Frontenac's kind of added to the rivalry of they're just right up the road off 69 Highway 2, and usually it's the Frontenac-Pittsburgh thing, but Pittsburgh has continued to grow, and they're in a 5A position, even though we still play them in the SEK and everything here for basketball. But Frontenac, we've always kind of sometimes saw them in the Frontenac tournament, or we've played where that's a big game, even if it's for fifth place, third place, whatever. That's the bigger game that you want to see is Fort Scott versus Frontenac. We can see it before the tournament.
It's always it's a rivalry because these girls have probably played against each other, and little kids basketball and softball and volleyball, and there's always that rivalry. There's always those bragging rights, whether it be wrestling or basketball or golf or volleyball or whatever, and so we have kind of developed that. And we look forward to the challenge. Coach Fields does a great job with his team. They're younger this year, but they're good, man. They shoot the ball. They kind of remind me of Chanute. All their guards can put the ball on the floor. They're all fundamentally sound. They all can shoot it. So we got our work cut out. I mean, we have to play solid fundamental basketball tomorrow, and we're getting ready to go into a tough little 4-game stretch with not looking ahead, but we have Frontenac at home, and then we have Labette, which is always a rivalry, and that's a whole other conversation for another day. You're you got Labette at home, and then we come back at Pitt, which is always a rivalry. You know, we're at Pitt, which would be a tough road game, and we seem to never play well, never shoot the ball well at Pitt. There, I remember a couple years ago, Jesse Comstock, I think after the first quarter, the score was like 2-3. You know, and then we finish up with Coffeyville at home before we go into the midseason tournament. So this is a tough 4-game stretch that we need to go in here and take care of business. But it starts tomorrow night with Frontenac at Frontenac, and we got to be ready to go.
For sure, and, you know, bringing up that Frontenac game, don't want to give in to what our playbook is and what we think we're going to do. Basketball, it's a little bit kind of just, do you plan on coming out of the gate? I mean, just seeing how it happens, getting into our press like normal, or is it we have some sets that we're going to?
I think the first thing I'm worried about, because it's our first game activity. You know, in practice you can simulate it and whatnot, but it's nothing like a game, and you can't get in game shape until you play games. So I'm curious to how we come out these first 3 minutes of the game. We need to get that first win under our belt. I might have to burn early timeouts because we're sucking air, you know, to kind of settle down and kind of get back into it. But you know, they're gonna come out and be ready to play. I think we kind of have to adapt to kind of what they want to do, and we'll counter it and kind of see how the game plays out. We'll continue to do what we normally do and attack things how we normally attack. We want to get in transition. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Anytime you can create some easy buckets without having to set up anything, that always makes things better. But like I said, Coach Phil's a great coach, and we'll just kind of have to play it by ear there.
For sure, and you know it's going to be nice to actually get on that court before the midseason tournament too,
right,
so you actually get to play in the big gym and not get stuck playing in that
back
old gym, the back gym first night or something like that.
At 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. Yeah,
always seems like it's always a late night when you go out there. I think last year I went and did something else, and I was able to still get there before the game even started.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we were playing in the Iola tournament.
Yes.
So yeah, I was able to play in Iola, get back, and actually before you guys even tipped off, get in and watch the game and take some stats up there in the bleachers. With that, you know, we got Coach G. He's been there for a while, and I'd be remiss without saying it, but he sent me a video today, and it's coming again. He's got somebody coming here soon in his life a little bit.
Yeah. He's. I told him both you guys, man. You guys got that young energy. You guys gonna be bald like me before it's all said and done. So we're excited. You know, and you know, hopefully we have some news next Monday or the next, depending on, you know, it's only whenever he or she decides to make an appearance, but it'll be exciting. And you know, since Coach G's had kids, he's mellowed out. You know, he used to be pretty fiery. Now he's kind of mellowed out. Man, kids will do that to you, but you know, he's still our hype man, and he does a great job. And I depend on him a lot on the bench, and he gives great insight. And you know, he's been with me for a long time, so there's a lot of trust there. Last game I had to disappear and run to the restroom. And
we were wondering up there. I was like, hopefully everything's okay. But he just dipped out. That's the first time I've seen it in a while.
I had to run to the restroom, but he was ready to step in and fill into the gap, and it was just a seamless transition. And so, you know, it's exciting to have him and him being around. And we got Coach Witt, who's kind of learning the ropes of coaching girls because he's always coached guys. So he's getting baptized by fire, so to speak. And so, you know, you coach girls. It's never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment.
Coaching girls is awesome, but it's never a dull moment. And so sometimes we have to be Dr. Phil and on top of being a coach. But I enjoy it, and you know, girls play hard, and you know, it's a great family atmosphere, and I wouldn't take anything else for it.
And now I don't know if he pushed this through to his wife and she signed off on it, or he's told you yet, but he told me in a group chat with your brother even that he guarantees he's not going to miss a game. He said he's going to be there regardless, and I don't know if he's.
You know, you're not going to get me in trouble with Bree there, and I told him you have to go with the flow. He talks a good game, but
I agree.
We'll have to go with the flow. And if you see me and Coach Witt just on the bench, then you know he lost.
He lost that battle.
The bet.
And sometimes that happens, but hopefully, you know, everything's going to be smooth with them, and they're going to bring in a new baby here shortly, and that's going to be an exciting time for him. And you know, I mentioned to him, I said, well, you got 2 car seats, you might as well get 3. And he said, I don't know if I'm going to do that again.
Right.
So he said he might be good with those 2. But you know, with that, just going in the Frontenac game, we've talked about what they're going to show us tomorrow. They're young, they're scrappy, a lot like Chanute. Which, if we remember the Chanute game, they kept it close, and actually, I think they had the lead there for a little bit, kind of
They did. They shot the ball well. You know, we don't like to get out of our zone too often. I'm all like Jimmy Boeheim, man. I'm gonna stay in the 2-3.
It took you forever to get to the zone finally, and now that you're in it, you're like, hey,
I like it.
Yeah.
But we had to go man, and that's kudos to Coach Fox, man. He does a good job with his team, and they shot the ball well. And so we're going to have to mix it up. That's one thing we probably want to change this second semester is, you know, give some variations into what our defense is going to be. But it just takes on the identity of the team. Kind of see what works for us and what doesn't work for us, and we kind of go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's a lot of thing with the man is losing your the backdoor assignments and stuff like that. And then I thought when we got into man, they did a pretty good job of help side. And I know I sometimes in practice the last few years, I'm like, why are we even going over this? Like, we've never been in man. Like, we're not doing it. Like,
yes.
Pete, we both know we're not doing it, but we've always worked on shell drill, and it's always been there. So it's good to see that when that has happened, we got right into it.
And I told the girls, you never know, and we do work on shell, you know, every day, or if not every other day, and it was good for them to be able to make that transition. And, you know, going man, I think, changed the game for us a little bit because they made a run, we went man, and we kind of stabilized and were able to stretch the lead out. And so we want to be versatile. We want to be multiple in what we do and give teams different look. And, you know, I need to do a better job of kind of mixing it up a little bit. But, you know, our girls they're quick learners, they're competitors, and no matter what you play, you got to get some stops there.
And I think the big thing, like with us, is we've learned that our press really, when we start up in that press, it's so much easier just to fall back into that.
Right.
Because we're trying to trap really quick right there at half court, so it helps to get in the zone.
Well, it helps us not to lose our man, so you can get into your press.
There's sometimes,
and then when you're dropping back, and sometimes the communication isn't always locked in where you have to find your girl, and so that's something you have to continue to work on in practice. So for us, we found what kind of works for us, and we'll continue to develop and continue to get better. And, you know, where we are right now, in January is not where we're going to be in late February, March, and we don't want to be peaking early. And, you know, we're still a work in progress, and we're still trying to form our identity and kind of what this team's going to be. And I think that's the exciting part about coaching is each year is its own identity and its own journey, and we want to embrace that journey, and we want to enjoy the journey. We don't want to wish games away, or, like I tell kids all the time, don't wish your life away, because it's easy for somebody to say, okay, I can't wait till I get to high school, or I can't wait till I get to college, or I can't wait to get a job. Nah, when them bills start coming in, you got to pay on your own. Appreciate being on the mom and dad's roof or grandma's roof. Enjoy the journey, and that's kind of what we want to do, and embrace it, because when you get done playing high school sports, not a lot of girls are going to go on and play college. When it's done, it's done. And so enjoy it. Enjoy being around your friends, and enjoy the funny times, enjoy the tough times, and learn and grow from it. And that's kind of what we try to do within team sports.
Absolutely. And with that, just last thing, if you want to give the fans anything, because, we are just right up the road about not even 30 minutes. It's 25 minutes to get to Frontenac and pack the stands there.
Yeah, the Chiefs not playing anymore. And
you didn't have to bring that up.
Yeah. There's kind of a dead time within sports. So if you don't have anything going on, it's a nice night. Come on out and check us out. Just 30 minutes down the road in Frontenac, and then we're at home in the Tiger Dome on Friday. So we're excited about getting it rolling, and we're always excited about our fan support, and the girls will appreciate everybody coming out.
Absolutely, Coach Steps, we appreciate it, and we thank you for joining us here on this first edition of Coach's Corner here in January 2026.
Thank you for what you do, man. I appreciate you covering us, you and Aaron, and go Big Red.
Absolutely. Thank you. So you're listening to Coach's Corner live from Hometown Pub. Stay with us as well on 103.9 KOMB FM and Fort Scott TV on YouTube. Men's head coach Brennan Feeback looks like he just got done with his dinner. He's going to join us right after this break. This is Dylan Duffy.
See Tim Heiser, certified financial planner at 202 East 23rd Street in Fort Scott. The bill starts tomorrow. Tim Heiser, a proud K1B sports booster. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA, SIPC.
If you're interested in learning to earn top, please visit sportscott.edu. Click the big apply now button. Set yourself on a path to becoming the person you always will be. Visit sportscott.edu.
Hello, Travis Myers here with Myers Mechanics, locally owned and operated. We are system change-out specialists. We install whole home, mini splits, and Generac generators. Give us a call at 913-713-3734 to schedule a full home and system analysis.
Myrick Mechanical is a proud sports booster.
Part of what makes Fort Scott so special is our community pride, and our Fort Scott Tigers are always making us proud. This is Bailey Lyons, broker at Lyons Realty Group, Tiger alum, and a proud community member and supporter. I can't wait to help with all of your real estate needs. Lyons Realty Group at 18th Wall Street in downtown Fort Scott. Happy to be a KOMB Sports Booster.
Hometown Pub is proud of all of our Tiger sports academic teams. We want to wish everybody a great winter season. Go Tigers. Stop by Hometown Pub at 206 North National Avenue. We're open 7 days a week. Kitchen hours from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and noon to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Stop by and see us. Always happy to have you.
Hey, folks, Frank here with Briggs & Fort Scott. Happy New Year. New Year brings new beginnings. So why not start the year out with a new ride? Choose from Chevy, GMC, Ford. Plus over 600 pre-owned vehicles available. And financing for all. Find all these vehicles at Briggs & Fort Scott or at BriggsAuto.com. I'm Frank, and I'll see you on the showroom floor.
This is Dylan Duffy coming back to you with the Coach's Corner of Part 2 with head coach Brendan Feeback here at Hometown Pub and on All Hit 103.9 and Fort Scott TV on YouTube. I'm going to get right into it. I would ask you how your break is, but you kind of dropped some big news on us over some break, and I wanted to give you a chance where we dive into the whole basketball thing if you wanted to give it out on the airwaves and everything like that.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Me and my wife, Allie, celebrated 3 years of marriage, and we've known for a little bit, but she looked herself in the mirror, and she's like, it's getting at that weird stage. Like, people may think I'm putting on weight. I'm like, all right, looks like we're posting it on our 3-year anniversary. So got a little baby girl coming in June.
Yes, congrats.
Yeah, thanks. She went to an appointment today. It wasn't a sonogram or anything. I was told that I go to all the sonogram appointments.
Oh, so you got out of that one.
Yes, I did, but I called in over my lunch break.
There you
and everything's looking good, so pretty exciting times ahead for the Feeback household.
Yeah, for sure. Girl first. That's what I went with. And I was like, I don't think I want anything else. And now I got stuck with 2 boys on top of that girl. So
they keep you busy, according to Facebook, too.
They do. They do quite a bit. But, yes, no, I mean, that's awesome for you guys. Congrats on 3 years. She probably could have got away with it for a few more months. Just said, holidays. I was eating too much or something. But I'm glad you guys got it out there and that it's happy and healthy so far. And Mom's doing good. And you get to celebrate it right in the midst of basketball season.
Yeah, that first, I'm learning a lot, too. She's in the healthcare profession, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's probably not that to her.
The first trimester, it's like I don't know what to expect, and she was getting sick. I'm like, and I don't do well with all that stuff. So, but it was good. It made me grow as a man.
There you go.
That's all that matters, right?
That's all that matters. Yeah, we live close to Casey's General Store with our first one, and I mean every night. Coke and Carmelo. I was sent to go to the store and give my wife a Coke and Carmelo.
I bought her Ninja Creamy because she's been on. So now we got the ice cream stuff taken care of.
There you go. Yeah. She's good to go then. So, let's get into basketball now, even though we could probably talk about for 30 minutes about that because it's always a good time kind of growing up. But 5 games in, we'll get into it. We're 3-2 overall, 1-1 the SEK. Last game, unfortunately, was that loss at home to Chanute. But besides that, we've looked pretty good, and there's been some moments that we definitely need to grow, which that's where you want to be within 5 games because hopefully we're not, playing our best basketball at this point. So what have you learned most about this group so far that you got?
So I've learned that when we're playing connected and we're taking what the defense gives us and we're playing disciplined on defense, we're boxing out, we're a really tough team to beat. I think of the last 3 quarters of Paola. They're a good team. We're not going to see a team as big as them, but when we really buckle down and say we're going to play defense, we're going to shut you down, and then we're going to move the basketball until we get good shots, we're a pretty good team to beat. So our potential the ceiling's really high for this team. Something that we've had to combat, and we really focused on it last week. Last week all we did was we worked on rebounding, defending, communicating on defense, boxing out, all that stuff. We didn't even focus on anybody else but ourselves, and it was good. We worked on free throws a lot because you look at the 2 games that we lose. I know the Chanute game we were like 8 for 19. You're not going to beat a top 10 team in the state shooting like that. So it was just, what do we have to do? And you can ask my wife. I was sick of going back and watching the Chanute film because we had our chances, and those are always going to bug you. But we got lazy. that first half, and you can't get lazy against a really good team. So we just have to continue to hold ourselves to the standards of what a Fort Scott Tiger is. Like, we're playing hard for 32 minutes. We're not playing hard for 30 minutes. We're not playing hard for 16. We're playing hard for 32 minutes. And we're getting better at that. But it's always amplified when you play those good teams, right? Like Paola and Chanute. Like,
and you've had some pretty good teams there at the start of the season to really see kind of where you're at and where you compete there. But, yeah, so you get up on top of the mountain, you play a Chanute team right before break, and then you're off for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so kind of just you want to go over what you guys have done. I know obviously you had the Momatorium. I think I saw some kids at the at Walmart. I don't know if they were kind of doing a secret Santa shopper or anything. You guys do anything in the community?
So we did our White Elephant gift exchange, which was really cool. Kids would come over and we just kind of hung out. We did that on the Sunday after the Chanute game. And, like, my goal, I told my wife, because she's working that day, I'm like, we're just not going to talk about Chanute. We got to move on.
Yeah.
So it's been good. We've had a lot of good things where we're just kind of getting off the basketball court and hanging out. Like, before the Chanute game, we did our movie night where we brought them into Fort Cinema, which was really cool. And we watched – forgot what movie we watched, but we watched a movie. And, like, we just bought them pizza, and it was everybody hang out. Because that's what we still need to do, and I know we talked about it last time. Like, we need to understand that when we're on the court together, we don't have to necessarily be best friends, but we're gonna do what it takes to get the win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think the biggest thing in high school sports, not only being good at what you're doing, but it's that team bonding and finding out that. I mean, you're out of high school for a little bit. I'm out a little bit longer, but I still have friends from high school that I know, and like that's what team athletics is all about. Is you're playing the sport, you're trying to do the best you can, but you want to make sure you establish those relationships throughout your life. That you say, hey, what are you doing today?
Yeah.
And you still remember those. And remember that one time, in Chanute, and we can bring up some funny things or stuff like that.
And we got a cool one that, like, I reached out to Wichita State, and I don't even know they haven't told me if we have to pay for them, but we're going to take a trip to Wichita State, I guess it'd be this coming Sunday, to go watch a basketball game.
Awesome.
And just get them out, and, like, we're going to hang out together. We're going to go to Brahms, probably eat some ice cream, and just hang out like dudes. So that'll be really fun.
And that helps out a lot, too, in the basketball standpoint of just watching another team play that you don't have to be competitive against. You're just watching them at the next level and, like, wow, that's you sometimes you don't have to coach it that day. You just get to watch, and they get to kind of pick up on some things and try some things out.
And I only have one rule for them. Like, you can't be on your phone from the time that it's the tip-off until the buzzer in to go to halftime. Then you can be on your phone. But it's just one of those things like, I want you to talk to whoever you're sitting next to. Like, have those conversations. Enjoy being at a Division I basketball game because not everybody gets to do that.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that's one of the bigger things is, any arena. I know you're not going to say KU's awesome. I want to go watch KU game. But
Allen Fieldhouse is cool. I've been there. I'll give it to y'all.
But, just the atmosphere is something that you can't replicate. No. I mean, you just got a bunch of crazies in there and all that. Like, I hate Duke, but I would love to go to Duke one day and just kind of see what that's all about because them Cameron crazies will go wild. But, let's get back to us a little bit here. This last week we've been able to practice a little bit.
Yeah.
You talked about what you did, but did we do anything knock off the rust? Pashawn brought up, it's the four corners of the world. He puts the trash cans there, and you get to hear the fun stuff about the girls puking or, hey, don't puke on my floor.
We
all that. You get into it a little bit this last week.
Yeah. I told Coach Young, like, we're not going to – because one thing that I think we've done really good at is we're not lowering our standards for anybody. And we've had some kids make knucklehead decisions, and our stance on that hadn't changed. Like, we had to make a few changes within our lineups because kids didn't want to do those simple things like box jumps. And so we made the change in the lineup, and then all the conditioning that we did, it was based off free throws or missed layups, or we just broke it down. And we really focused on, all right, we're going to be gritty. We're going to be in shape. So we did a lot of running, and really it wasn't by choice. Like, I had one day on my practice plans of we're going to line up and we're going to run. And we did a 10 and 10, which is 10, we call them gassers now. Free throw line back, half court back, free throw line back, full court back, full court back. That is one. So you have to get 10 of those in 10 minutes. Shout out to Coach Book. He was my high school coach. We did 15 and 15, but we also got to work up to it a little more. It was a preseason thing.
You just gave it straight to him.
We just went straight to it. And that was good because I think they realized, like, I could do hard things. So it was really good. Like, we didn't scout anybody. And I thought that was refreshing for not only the players but also us coaches. Like, no, we need to focus on what we're going to be good at. We really took a step back, simplified our zone offense because Chanute came out in the zone. And we worked on it, but it's just like it's hard to replicate a zone with that size, right, and that athleticism that Chanute has. So we worked on it. So it was just taking a step back and really evaluating what do we need to get better at, what are we struggling with, what are we good at, continue to build on those good things, but also build up those things that we need to work on.
For sure. And, you know, kind of a bright spot that we've had is a junior move-in, Drayden Marlowe.
Yeah.
He had a really good game against Chanute. And even for all those missed free throws that we had and all the kind of lapses in judgment and things that we did wrong, we were a three-pointer away from possibly, you know, winning that game or being tied with him. I can't remember. It's been a while. But, you know, we had that opportunity there.
Yeah, so we were -3 with like 45 seconds left. And we got a pretty good look, which I'm never ever going to put on a kid like, oh, we need to make that shot, because you go back and there were many games that led up to that point, or there were many plays and shots that led up to that point where it was that close. But, yeah, Marlowe, he's been really good. He's just got a natural feel to the game. Obviously, every single one of us, me included, has to brush up on what we're doing. But he's done really well. I thought the adjustment period for him to get to that 4A level would be a while.
Agree.
But no, I think he really started to make that turn at the Iola game. Because from that point he's averaging over 20.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool.
It's been really nice. He has looked really good, and you know, something that he brings that you don't, you know, kind of going into, you're like, man, he's a big kid. But then you look at the rest of the kids and you're like, hey, you know, we're all pretty big across the board. We're all pretty tall and all that. And we've kind of got into that. But, you know, what's that impact that you feel? Obviously, we played Paola, had two tall kids.
Yeah.
We played Iola, and we handled them, but they had a pretty good tall kid and all that. So kind of what is that bringing into, you know, I don't know what the rest of the season outlook, I don't know what Frontenac has. Really, I don't scout too much. But obviously you see, like, at some point we're going to run into a team that they're going to look at us and be like, wow, that they're a big team. So how does that make you feel as a coach to know that we have all that size?
Well, it makes me think that, we need to brush up. We need to make sure we have go-tos. We have answers to the question when they throw zones at us, because we are big, and teams aren't going to want to just sit there and play man-to-man against us, because we have mismatches everywhere on the court. We're not as fast as I thought we were, but we are as big as I thought we were. Obviously, Paola's the outlier there because they're pretty big across the board. But, what was your question? I'm sorry, I kind of.
Oh no, you're good. It's all good. Just kind of like, what's that size, that outlook for the rest of the season going to do for you? You think? I mean, obviously you said you're going to mix in. So probably going to see a lot more zone. Until, I mean, Dre had, you know, quite. I think he had 2 or 3 threes. He's had a few threes, so he showed that you can step out. I think about all of our bigs. Cannon, he's our other tall kid, but he's if you're going to give him that 3-point line, he's going to take it. So it's one of those. Do you expect to try to shoot them out of the zone, or just?
I tell my shooters whenever they go to a zone, we should be licking our chops, right? Because there's holes in the zones. You just find the hole, and then you let it fly. And I tell all of our shooters, like, I got confidence in you guys. There's going to be, and I went back and I watched Chanute, what are some things rotationally, like probably should have got a shooter in a little quicker here. So we went back, and me and Coach Young have really talked about what are we going to do with our rotation to make sure that we have who we want in the game. And if they go to a zone, our goal is to shoot them out of the zone, right? We were really lazy on our passes against Chanute. You could tell we haven't been zoned. And
which you don't see it a whole lot on,
you
the
don't.
inside at all. So
you don't. And I'll give a shout-out to Coach Crabtree. I knew he was going to throw some sort of zone at us. He went with that 2-3 zone. It's kind of expanded. And I thought we were ready, but we weren't ready enough, and that's not a reflection of our kids. I just have to figure out what I need to do to give them better looks. But, I figure we'll get zoned a lot more, and our shooters just got to be ready to knock down shots.
Or just, you know, I give Drayden and I give some of the guys that I know can dunk a hard time. It's like, you know how you get them out of the zone or get them out of your way is you just go up and try to throw it as hard as you can on them, and no matter what, there's a kid out at the college, it doesn't matter who's in the lane. If he can get 3 steps, he's going to try to throw it down on you, and that just establishes some dominance, you feel like. sometimes that zone Bill Self, again, I'm bringing up KU, but he's really good at meticulously just having a play where we're going to try to get that gotcha moment, and then you're going to have to figure it out quickly on your side.
Yeah, and Frontenac, I know we'll probably get into that later, but they play a lot of zone, so we have some answers to some questions hopefully that work out for us, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. Good deal, and I'm glad you brought that up. We'll take a quick break real quick here at Hometown, and then we'll get into that Frontenac game. You listen to Dylan Duffy on Coach's Corner with head coach of the men's team here, Brennan Feedback. We'll be right back after this break. You're listening to All Hit 103.9 and Fort Scott TV on YouTube.
Looking for insurance that actually fits your life? At Growth Insurance Agency, we make protecting what matters simple. From your home to your car to the moments that mean the most, our team finds the right personal coverage at the right price. Local service, real people, and peace of mind you can count on. Call Growth today and let us help you protect your world, one policy at a time. Growth Insurance Agency at 18 South National, Fort Scott.
Peerless Products offers health insurance with an employee-only premium as low as $10 per week, a company-funded health savings account, company-funded life insurance for employees and their immediate families, profit sharing, and a 401k match. Peerless employees enjoy fresh fruit daily, earn paid sick time and vacation time that's immediately available, and the knowledge that their weekends will be theirs to enjoy. Apply in person or online at peerlessproducts.com. Peerless Products is an equal opportunity employer that puts people first.
Hometown Pub is proud of all of our Tiger sports and academic teams. We want to wish everybody a great winter season. Go Tigers. Stop by Hometown Pub at 206 North National Avenue. We're open 7 days a week with kitchen hours from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and noon to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Stop by and see us. Always happy to have you.
Obie's Pizza is the proud all-hit 103.9 sport booster and supports all area school activity because they know that teamwork is a must for success, and students learn that from not only school sports but all school functions. For Obie's locations all throughout the area, go to obiespizza.com, a KOMB sport booster.
Back here at Hometown Pub, you're listening to Dylan Duffy and head coach Brennan Feedback here, 103.9 and Fort Scott TV on YouTube. And like you brought up right before the break, Coach, we're heading to Frontenac tomorrow night. The girls will play first varsity, and then the boys will be right after that. And you kind of brought up that they play a lot of zone. So just want to, without giving up, again, I tell Steps this, and my New Year's resolution, I didn't tell him that, is I'm not going to call out the plays that they're running. So we'll see if we can work on that. But for you guys, I don't know the plays, which some of them are a mix of everything. But without giving up your playbook, they're going to be matching up against the zone. Is there a certain spot on the court? Is there a certain, player matchup-wise that you plan on, they're going to really exploit?
Their coach is a good coach. He had a good game plan last year for us. We didn't have as many shooters, obviously, last year as we do this year. We have a lot more depth in terms of shooting and guys that just can space the court. They like to run that 1-2-2 half-court trap defense. So my big thing is whenever you can get into the heart of the defense, especially a 1-2-2, like there's a gap in the middle.
Yep.
You want to get the ball in the middle. If everything works out, we'll put one of our pretty good players right in the middle to exploit some stuff. I tell the guy, if I put you in the middle, or if we find a way to get you in the middle, like you become the quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you're in the heart of the defense. If any good basketball team, whenever you get in the heart of the defense, everything condenses on you. Because it's like I tell them it's somebody breaking into your house. And if you look at a 1-2-2 zone, it's literally shaped like a house.
Yeah.
And so once you get the ball in there, everybody's going to collapse on you. And that's when our shooters get going.
Yeah.
So I'm telling our guys, we got to be ready to shoot with confidence. We got a lot of shots up today. Put them in some situations, small side games where, all right, it's a skip pass to the corner. He's closing out on you. What are we going to do? You got to make those. We're just working on developing those half-second decisions, which is one of our values in terms of offensives. We want to make decisions in the half second, because if we're going to drive, we want to drive now. But if we're going to shoot it, we want to shoot now. Because if you wait longer than a half second, then the zone's set back up, and it's like now we have to start all over.
Yeah.
Making smart passes, taking what's there. We went back and I just showed them some Chinook clips. Like there's never, ever have we practiced a pass from the corner to the opposite wing. that's never going to get through.
Yeah.
And so there was like 3 times at Chanute, and obviously that turns into easy buckets for Chanute.
It's not gonna get through without being tipped or something.
Right.
You know,
And that's a hard pass to make.
Yeah, yeah.
Because especially if you're getting trapped
Even if
in
you're
the
throwing
corner.
a bullet, somebody's going to get a finger up
Yeah.
there, and you never know what it's going to do.
Yeah, so we just got to take what's given to us because it is a zone. They're going to trap, but the best way to beat a trap is don't let the trap get there.
Yeah.
So get the ball moving, make the smart pass, fake a pass to make a pass, everything that they've learned since second grade. Now we just have to, instead of saying it, we just have to back it up. So we focus a lot on the fundamentals.
For sure. And, ball movement's always there. Quick passes, they're in a zone, so you think like, oh, they're going to be lazier. But a lot of people don't understand about a zone is they're moving. They just have an area that they're moving to, so they can not have to move as much if they're not chasing somebody like a Steph Curry that runs the whole court and all that stuff. And that's always great when they're running man. But when you're playing against the zone, if you're moving the ball quick, it can go from this corner to this corner in a quick motion where they have somebody that they ain't going to guard. If they have a 1-2-2 and you have 3 low, you have the mismatch there for at least a half a second, like you said. So definitely good. Catch, turn, face, looked at the basket, know what you're doing with it. No lazy passes. I think we all agree on that as coaches and everything right there. So with that, hopefully we're going to win that game.
Yeah.
And we'll be moving on to, I believe Coach said it's Labette Friday at home. So, with that, we're right back. We kind of have a non-conference, and we're right back into conference there. And we, want to stack some wins this year.
Yeah.
So when stacking wins and on top of that, we've had our little mid-season break, and then we'll have a tournament break. But I think also this team's really trying to learn their roles and what they're going to do. And hopefully everybody's on the straight and narrow, figured it all out, that they're going to have their head on their shoulders right. But, what is success going to look like over the next few weeks without looking too far in? Obviously, we have Frontenac tomorrow, but just, big bubble thing.
I think the big things with us to really meet our maximum potential, number one, got to play great defense, because if you look at all of our games, there's just these mental lapses. High school basketball comes down to two things, in my opinion, defense and rebounding. If you want to be good and you want to have great games and you want to have great seasons, you have to be good at defense and you have to rebound. High schoolers are going to make some of their shots, okay, but they're also high schoolers, right? It's not like we're going to go out and guard. Is it Darian Peterson? Is that his name?
Yeah, well, nobody's guarding him.
Right.
But we don't have to get into that.
So, and I watched him
sit
against
the bench
UCF.
more than
I know. But we just need to box out. We need to rebound. Some of our roles are switching, which is, that's what you have to do. Some kids are going to have to step up, which I have no doubt that they will. Our rotation is going to look a little different probably for a little bit. But that's just, we have to be, number one, you have to be able to adapt, right? Like, if something happens, well, how are we going to respond to that? I talk about event plus response equals outcome. So this is what happened. How are we going to respond? If we respond good, then the outcome's going to be good. If we respond bad, the outcome's going to be bad. But, we just got to continue to find our role. We have to be happy with our role. Some people don't like where they're at, and it's just like, well, then you got to prove to me that you can have an expanded role. Because, I could get into the whole spiel about that. But,
No, I think everybody that's coached or has seen the game from a coaching standpoint understands that as, one, players can win you games, but teams win championships. And, Darren, like you brought up Darren Peterson, he's the best player on the team. But if he didn't have 4 other guys around him, a lot of these kids are almost too old to remember LeBron in high school. But the way he elevated people around him and they knew their role, and, we have the best player in this state, but, they had to knock down the shots. They had to know when their time was called. Some teams are going to, triple team Cannon, or if Dirks is going off, they're going to double up on Dirks, or the same with Dre and anybody else. And the other kids have to understand that your time's going to come eventually when you start putting out tape that if you're going to sit in that corner and bang some threes for me, that's where you're going to be. And it's going to be, we're going to need you to do that, because you don't want me ball, you want we ball.
Exactly.
And you definitely want if you want to get back to where we were at just 2 years ago, where they made it to state, and a good opportunity to you win that first night, you never know at state anymore. So I think now it's changed a little bit where you're not going there until you're actually top 4. So it would be awesome, and I think that's what these kids need to understand is the date with state is where you want to be at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And really making sure that you grow as a team, because again, down the road, 10, 15 years from now, you're going to hope that these guys are still your buddies somewhere.
Yeah.
And you can talk about, what's even cooler and talk about like a funny thing that happened in a game is, remember when we made it to state though,
Yeah.
and we had an opportunity to
Right.
bring home some hardware and stuff like that. So that's kind of stacking wins and everything, I think, is what we want to see. And I think we have a good nucleus for that as long as we keep our head on our shoulders and continue to grow.
Yeah, I agree. And to piggyback what you were saying, like our offense that we have, our 5-out offense, this is obviously against man, it's designed like we have primary action going on this side of the court. A lot of times, like if it's KB or Dirks or Marlowe or whoever, like backside, they just get caught ball watching. Like, no, we have built-in stuff that we need to do because if you're moving backside, either that's going to open up our ball side or backside's going to be wide open for a shot because you're just making the defense move. So we had to go back and also work on our man-to-man fundamentals of let's break down our offense, just go back, refresh everything. Because if it just turns into two-man game over here with nothing going on backside, that's really easy to defend.
Yeah.
You got two guys on help side and then just wait for them to crash. So,
ISO ball's fun at the park, but,
it just
high
doesn't
school,
work.
Like I've watched enough high school now. Like I didn't, but like you've watched enough now that sets and things that you always moving. Like move without the ball is the biggest thing, and that's what we always talked about on the girls' side. Or I always said, if you're going to mess up, at least mess up at 100%.
Yeah.
Because the good thing is good things will happen if you're close to it. And I think that's some growth. We saw some good things against Chanute. Like I know, unfortunately, it was an L in that column, but we saw good things that happened even when they were in zone or they were in man for a little bit. And I think there's things that we can build on, and we're going to build on this year. And it starts with Frontenac tomorrow. I mean, shoot, that one kid, I don't know his name. I'm sure you're going to know his name for Chanute. Pure shooter. I mean,
number 3, Olsen. Yeah.
And you guys shut him down.
Yeah,
get going
and that was our goal.
Yeah,
like
it worked.
Our defensive strategy, and obviously that's our defensive coordinator, Coach Young.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
We promoted him to defensive coordinator, and he loves it. Like I said, what do we need to do to beat Chanute? He said we need to shut down number 3, and I said I couldn't agree more. We put KB on him. He hit. I think he ended with 9 points.
Yeah, and he finished. I don't think he hit his first 3 until the either late third or early fourth quarter.
So, yeah, our defensive strategy has been good. And then if you look at the fourth quarter of our scoring breakdown, we scored 23 points. So I know, and the only thing I did is just told our guys to relax, like take the easy pass. They stayed in their zone the fourth quarter. And so when we're just relaxing and letting the game come to us and we're making the easy passes, like that's tough to beat. 23 points, it's averaging, I'm not a math teacher, but it's like 92 points. Yeah, 92 points a game if you score 23 each quarter. So
that'd be pretty cool to watch, yeah.
That would be really cool to watch. So it's there. Just got to continue to instill confidence in our guys and have the next ones ready to go.
Sure, and I think they're going to understand, have fun with it. Again, it is a game.
Yeah.
Like you are getting to play a game. You're in high school. These are the memories you want to make. Just go have fun with it, see where you're at the end, and that's when you can kind of get the nerves, but just enjoy the game.
I didn't mention our Tiger tip-off extravaganza. So we did that New Year's Day.
Okay.
And so our seniors picked teams. And, like, it was just like Olympics. So just like you said, going back to the game, having fun. We did 3-point contests. We did a 5-on-5 tournament. We did towel push relays. And it was accountability practice, so we woke them at 8 o'clock to make sure they weren't doing stupid stuff the night before.
You always have to do that,
Yeah. But, yeah, that was fun. We try to keep it fun.
Okay, so with that, you got to tell us who won. I mean, you can't hold that to yourself.
So Dirks' team won. It was Dirks. Why can't I think?
So did they have to pick like underclassmen, like all the seniors lined up and they picked underclassmen?
Yeah, we had a draft board and all that. But Dirks was the captain. And I know it was Beastwood. Noah Eastwood was on the team. Colt Lipe.
Okay.
I'm going to forget the other ones. I'll be sure to dab them up.
We'll get those in
sorry.
for next Monday,
Yeah, I'll go back and check with them. But, yeah.
Beastwood, that's a good nickname for Noah.
He came up and he introduced himself as that. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to call you Beastwood.
You got to call him that then, too. So, I mean, good on him for having that confidence to come up to you and say that. And, yeah, Cole Lipe's a really good one, too. So I'll end it with this. We got about 2 minutes left here. When fans watch this team in the perfect world, what do you want them to notice most about how we're going to compete from here on out?
I want to notice, number one, is our heart for each other. We're getting better at that. I want them to see that 50-50 balls aren't 50-50 balls. They should be at least 75% in our favor. So just that willingness to get on the floor, and it was kind of cool. Last week we really pushed them. Like, Like, dudes were getting on the floor, and today, like, we're doing a polish practice, but we're still trying to get those rebounding drills in just because they're that important. And we got dudes diving on the floor, and, like, Quad A Moreland just goes diving across the floor to get a ball. Like, whoa, wait, it's a polish practice, man.
We're just trying to,
And then, so they're getting after it. But I also want them to see that we're fundamentally sound. Focused on that a lot, too. We have this Villanova drill. You put 2 people in the corner, 2 people on the wings, and it's just dribble. Or you catch the ball, pump fake, get dribbled 2 feet in the paint, and then kick it to the next person, and just playing on 2 feet and just valuing that, valuing the basketball. Like, we don't need to force up stupid shots, right? We want to take the shots that we worked for, that we passed for, that we cut for. We're taking what's given to us, and then every time there's a shot going up for the other team, we're getting the rebound. And that's something that we've really had to harp on. Because we are big, but if we let it turn into a jumping game, we're not the most athletic team. And I love all of our guys, and I'm honest with them. Like, Chanute's probably more athletic than us.
Yeah.
Paola was definitely, they were bigger and more athletic than us. So then you have to go hit the person, then find the ball, then go get it. You can't just go underneath the basket and look up and expect for it to come down.
Yeah.
Which our rebounding philosophies, 75% of the shots are either going opposite from where they go or to the middle. So that's our offensive rebounding mentality, is crash those spots. And defensively, we have to keep that in mind too. Like, there's a pretty good chance that the ball's going there. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Well, I hope to see it kind of all formulate together against Frontenac tomorrow night on the road. Can't wait for that, but obviously can't wait until Friday night when we're back home in the Tiger Dome. But we'll be back with you guys here at Hometown Pub next Monday. And I do want to finish this up by saying thank you to Coach Feedback again and to Coach Steps for joining us. And that's going to do it for this week's Coach's Corner live from Hometown Pub. For Dylan Duffy, thanks for listening on All Hit 103.9 KOMB FM and watching Fort Scott TV on YouTube. We'll see you next time. And as always, go Tigers.
You've been listening to the Coach's Corner, a slam dunk of information about your Fort Scott Tiger basketball team. Tonight's Coach's Corner was brought to you live on location from Hometown Pub, 206 North National in downtown Fort Scott, your local family-friendly pub. Stop in for lunch or dinner and check out Hometown Pub on Facebook for specials and upcoming events. Also brought to you in